I was on mute. That was a good start. Happy Sunday, everyone. Saturday probably wasn't so happy for some FPL players. I'm sorry if your game week hasn't gone so well so far. Can't be helped. Sometimes, honestly, with this game, you've got to roll with the punches. You know, some weeks are good, some weeks not so good, and you've just got to keep on trucking, man. Hello, Bob. Hello, Paneet. Hello, Glenn. Cursed Epic. Good to see you all. You just got to roll with the punches, man. Just got to roll with the punches, as is life, right? So, yeah. I've got my morning coffee, which is nice and tasty. A couple of people asking how many points I've got. 15. But I still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players still to play. And I would say the 6 players I have left to play are all pretty good. Rico Lewis, Trent, Eze, Wood, and Haaland. I also don't think I've got that many players left who could really, really hurt me. Cole Palmer is the only one, really. And of all the games, Liverpool away is one that I'm least scared of, I would say. So, yeah, I might have only 15 points, but I think I think things are looking quite promising for the rest of the day. I'm on Live FPL, by the way, if anyone wants to know what this website's called, Live FPL. It just gives you a live rank, basically. Yeah, I'm quietly confident. You know, I don't completely rule out Trent being able to keep a clean sheet or do something against Chelsea. I think that's entirely possible. Rico Lewis, I reckon he'll start against Wolves, and obviously, you know, that's a good fixture for Man City. Eze, my God, I've been absolutely abused for keeping hold of him, but I think at some point he's going to come good. Salah, he's Mo Salah. Wood and Haaland. So yeah, I'm quite confident. Yeah, I noticed that, Sparta. I woke up this morning, checked Twitter, and it was a bit of a cluster this morning. I am not part of the FPL cartel. I never owned Saka in the first place, anyway. But it did all make me laugh. It's quite funny, isn't it? Seeing people explode about that. Puneet had Michael Keane, incredible. Yeah, I'm not sure about sales. I just have to wait and see, Carl, I think. Just have to wait and see. Absolutely FPL FOMO. Just got to look forward, man. That's all you got to do when times are tough. What else? Liam, 8 points so far. Mikalenko is... Oh, unlucky, man. Unlucky. Is Haaland essential? I'd say as close as it gets, to be honest. Especially next week when he's got Southampton. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but for me, Southampton are the 20th best team in the league. They're the worst team in the league, and that's who Haaland has next. I would, if I still have my triple captainship, I would genuinely consider giving it to Haaland next week against Southampton. Regardless of how he gets on today, really, to be honest, unless he gets injured. Nice one, Alex. Yeah, the only rank that matters is your rank at the end of the game week. Is it time to put Palmer in now? I don't think so. Yeah, he hasn't even played yet this week, so you just don't know. If I could pick one, Bob, it would be Palmer, definitely. If I could pick one, it'd be Palmer. But yeah, in terms of Tom's question, I wouldn't put Palmer in now because he hasn't played yet, and yeah. Thank you, Omar. Well, I think I'm in a decent position, but we'll see how things go as the game week goes on. I've also, by the way, this is a good feeling. Look at this. Look at this, right? Look at my transfer screen for next week. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! 5 free transfers, and I've got no idea what I'm going to do with them. If Eze scores this week, I have no idea, absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with my transfers. Morning, Daniel Wareham. That's next weekend, my friend. So I'll be a bit quiet on YouTube next weekend because I've got that next weekend, basically. I'm driving up to Sheffield on Friday morning for that. So, yeah, we're all good. We're resting up this week. I'm on my taper now. Although because of my injury, my taper has been for the last sort of month. But I've still been moving and keeping fit and stuff, so we should be good to go. Saka to Foden. If I had Saka, I think I'd keep him. Unless you're doing that move to free up funds to bring someone else in, I think I would keep hold of Saka. Because I don't think you can be 100% sure that Foden starts against Southampton. Bob answered that already. Definitely Palmer for me. I think Palmer is the best one. You've put that in like 4 times. I've answered it twice now. I was going to swap Salah this week at best for Son, but really like Johnson. Funny old game. Yeah, it is what it is, mate. So you win some, you lose some. That's just how it works. You know, you're relying on players that you can't control to do things to give you points. It's always going to be mad and interesting. I like Solanke, mate. I'm happy to keep him, personally. He did play quite deep, though, didn't he, against West Ham? But maybe that was a tactical thing. Because in other games, he's not done that. Have Kulu, Solanke, Johnson, Spurs. Yeah, mate, I know. It's the way the cookie crumbles, mate. Foden to De Bruyne? I wouldn't do that. No chance. I think Foden is a better option than De Bruyne, for sure. You haven't even seen Foden play yet, mate. You know, you're getting a bit gung-ho there, I think. Look, people are asking me questions about players that haven't even played yet this week. I don't really see any reason to get rid of him, Omar. I've got to say, I was a little bit concerned about this Arsenal fixture in Gameweek 9, but now Saliba is suspended for Arsenal. I think that's a bit of a different story. So I'm quite happy to have Mo Salah. And I genuinely don't see any reason to get rid of him. Just answered your question, Bob. Havertz to Solanke. Mate, I don't think I'd be selling Solanke. I think that's a bit of a rush, reactive rush job, in my opinion. I wouldn't be looking to sell Solanke. No way. The one player I'm looking to sell is Flecken. Like, I'm looking at this team. Honestly, I've got 5 free transfers, and hey Bob, you gotta calm down, man. Like, I'm not about your chat. You're putting too many messages in the chat asking the same question, and none of your transfers make sense that you're asking. By the way, just saying, like, you are being very gung ho with these messages, mate. A little bit, but wouldn't you be scared of what Salah could do as well? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, Palmer's good, but would you not be also scared of Salah? Like, a Saliba-less Arsenal. Liverpool have probably been the best team in the league so far this season, you know? Triple Arsenal with Gabriel and Riot at the back, but I'm a Liverpool fan. What can you do, mate? What can you do? Which keeper would you buy? I'll probably get Pickford, mate. Probably get Pickford. Had Anderson and Saliba for... Oh, Bob, you're getting a timeout, mate. See you later, bro. Had Anderson and Saliba for red cards. Oh, man alive. That's so unlucky. I'm sorry to hear that, man. What can you do? What can you do? McNeil gave 6 points. Sell Gabriel to fund Palmer. Yeah, potentially. Potentially. I think Gabriel could make way in my team at the moment as well. And then just knowing I get rid of him, if I get rid of him, he scores against Liverpool. Thank you so much, Glenn. That's very generous of you. I hope you're doing well, mate. It's about time we labelled McNeil as the best left-footed player in the league. Yeah, he's good. Who else had a good left foot on him? Buonanotte. That's who's got a good left foot on him. Mentioned him in my buy and avoid video. Yeah, Omar, I do. The thing is with Mykolenko is that he just doesn't have the best injury record. He is quite an injury-prone player, I would say. So just bear that in mind with Mykolenko. I'm on 25 points with Haaland captain, Palmer, Foden, Lewis and Salah. Well, that is a pretty good place to be, mate. I'm actually tempted for a Sells 3-week punt and then go back to Raya. It's not bad. Honestly, mate, if I were to pick a goalkeeper, I guess you've only got 4.5, but if I were to pick 2 goalkeepers in the game, I would go Pickford or Onana right now. I think those are the 2 best keepers in the game, to be honest with you. I always say this when I talk about goalkeepers. People that watch the channel regularly will get bored of me, but the best goalkeepers, in my opinion, in FPL are ones that keep an average amount of clean sheets. So not necessarily an exceptional amount like the top teams, because then that means they don't make many saves. What you want from a goalkeeper in FPL, in my opinion, is one that keeps an average amount of clean sheets, but also makes consistent saves. Flecken is kind of on the other side of that coin, where he's not keeping any clean sheets, but making loads and loads of saves. Whereas Pickford and Onana of Man United kind of sit in the middle. You know, they will keep 10 to 12 clean sheets this season, I would suggest, and they'll consistently get saves. And also, Carl, you know, it's easy to say this with hindsight, but I also think chopping and changing your goalkeeper all the time never seems to work out. Because you just dodge points by doing it. You know, I think that's probably what's happened to you, mate, and I'm sorry to hear that. Glenn, yeah, good man, Glenn. Well done. Unlucky on Ericsson. TRFC. Just look forward, man. Yeah, killer scratch. I like that. I like that. Too late to switch to anti-FPL. Probably not. Someone asked for my prediction for today's game. So we can have a look at how we got on. So this is the score prediction screen from the deadline stream yesterday. So I had Spurs beating West Ham 3-1. I mean, not bad. Fulham beating Villa. Villa beating Fulham 2-1. I suggest I'm not too far off there. Ipswich and Everton was a 2-2. I think Ipswich were a bit disappointing, weren't they? I thought they'd get a result out of Everton. I thought Man United Brentford would be, both teams would score and Man United would just edge it. So I'll take that. Newcastle, I did think they'd beat Brighton. But just didn't happen. Leicester, I thought they'd beat Southampton. They did. And then Arsenal, I thought would beat Bournemouth 2-0, but it was obviously the other way around. Had obviously Saliba not been sent off, you know. What do you guys think about the Saliba red card as well? Do you think it was a red? And then I had Man City beating Wolves 4-1 today. Chelsea losing to Liverpool. I've got Liverpool winning that 2-0. Might be a bit biased with Trent still in my defence. And then I think Forest, Crystal Palace being 0-0. But yeah, I think it was a red. I agree. The more I look at it, the more I think it was a red. Well, what we'll do is just... That's not a very nice comment. I love Cardman. Would you keep putting weird messages in my chat, man? Just say nice things. I had Burnley, Doncaster, Wrexham, MK's Dons to win. First, oh, good man. So yeah, obviously Spurs 4, West Ham 1. Goals coming from Basuma, Kulusevski, Son, and obviously an own goal from Areola. Son got the assist in the end for that own goal, didn't he? He had it, taken away, got it back. Bit of an interesting one there that caused quite a lot of drama on Twitter, I saw. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had Solanke. Just team scored 4 goals, didn't get amongst the returns. What can you do? What can you do? Bowen robbed. I must admit, I watched all the highlights of all the games, but I didn't catch that Bowen should have got an assist. I missed that. Aston Villa 3, Fulham 1. Rodgers and Watkins, a very lucky deflection goal for Rodgers. But I think the lucky deflection goal for Rodgers makes up for all of that unluckiness at the start of the season, right? So that's proof that it kind of levels out, right? Watkins, obviously, with a nice goal. He's obviously still a good option. Raul Jimenez amongst the goals. I mean, Raul Jimenez is a good option, right? You can't deny that. He's probably, of all of these sub 6 million forward, probably the best one now, in my opinion. And with Andreas Pereira missing a penalty, I would ask a question: does Raul Jimenez take the next one? Don't know what you guys think, but I think that was such a poor penalty from Pereira that I think Raul Jimenez will take the next one. Nice one, Ben. Yeah, I did think about you with Archer. I remember you had Archer up front. Andy Burton's in Dublin. Huge. Everton beating Ipswich 2-0. I must say, that was quite a surprise result for me. Another attacking return for Dwight McNeil. Is that Ndai? I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. He does look like a pretty good option alongside McNeil. 5.4 million. Underlying numbers not so great, but I think he's a really good player. And then McNeil putting up some very, very strong numbers this season so far. 6 returns from 8 starts, 5.7 million. 2 saves for Pickford. Another clean sheet for him. So that's 2 clean sheets in 2 games for Pickford. Michael Keane, obviously, with a goal amongst the bonus. Man United edging Brentford 2-1. Garnacho with a goal. I think, I mentioned in my buy and avoid video, I think Garnacho is a pretty decent pick in FPL now. 6.2 million. I think he's nailed on to start for Man United. Chelsea at home is obviously a tough game, but outside of that, that's a decent run of fixtures coming up for them. Bruno Fernandes with his only 2nd attacking return of the season. Unbelievable. So 2 assists from 3.4 expected goal involvements, what he's put up so far. And yeah, Brentford were poor. Big old blank for Mbumo, but Flecken with 9 saves, so we take the points there. Brighton with a bit of a shock result, I would say, against Newcastle. I thought Newcastle would win that game, I've got to say. Welbeck obviously stretched it off with a back injury. No one knows the extent of that yet, I'm afraid. So if you're a Welbeck owner, I'm afraid I don't really have any info for you. But fixtures coming up are not so great. He's got Wolves and then Liverpool, Man City. So it's probably around about time to be getting rid of him anyway. But yeah, hopefully he recovers soon, because that could have been quite a bad injury. And Verbruggen, 6 saves, clean sheet. Did well. What else we got? Leicester, Southampton, last minute winner for Jordan Ayew, who gave away, of course, the penalty. I think he gave... No, he didn't. Did he give away a penalty? Oh, I've forgotten from the highlights. But it was a bit of a 0 and hero that game. Bueno Notte was my star of that game. He looks like a pretty good option as well, at sort of 5 million-ish. And then finally, Bournemouth v Arsenal. Obviously a shock upset of a result, I would say. I had Arsenal winning that 2-0. And obviously that was completely scuppered by the Saliba red card. But yeah, Bournemouth won that one 2-0. I think Bournemouth are a really good team. What does the league table look like? Are Bournemouth in the top 4? Oh no, they're only 10th. Feels like they've been better than that. Felt like they'd be better than that. But yeah, that's a bit of a summary of the games. I would say highlights players that I've got my eye on. Definitely Heung-min Son of Spurs. And the Spurs fixtures coming up are really nice. Even though they've got Man City mixed in, I always feel like Spurs do decently against Man City. So I personally wouldn't be too worried about owning Son for that game. I think Son's a good option. 9.8 million is a good price. I think he's a good alternative to Saka. Standouts for the Fulham Villa game, I'd probably say Rodgers, Watkins and Jimenez, the goal scorers, really. I think Jimenez is looking like a really good option for Fulham. Probably the best sort of sub 6 million forward in the game now. Rodgers, I mean, we all know how good he is and the value that he provides. Don't need to say too much about that. And then Ollie Watkins looking like a really solid option too. You can't... He's always going to come up with goals. He just is. That's the kind of player he is. Everton Ipswich, I would say standouts for me. Jordan Pickford is, I think, one of the outstanding keeper picks in the game. I don't think you can pick Michael Keane because as soon as Branthwaite's back fit, I think he gets out of the team again. Ndiaye and McNeil, I think, look like good options. Man United, I would say my two favourite United assets are probably Garnacho and Bruno. Højlund's, he's their centre forward, right? He's probably going to score some goals, but I just think there are better strikers in the game than him. And then Brentford, Flecken, bit disappointing not to keep a clean sheet. And Bumo, obviously a bit disappointing there. Newcastle, Brighton, I'm not sure there are any real standout players from this. Brighton, I would just look at Welbeck. Brighton have Liverpool and Man City in 10 and 11. So I think it's quite hard to recommend Brighton players right now, to be honest. Southampton and Leicester, I don't think I'd touch a single Southampton player other than probably Dibbling. And then Leicester, Buonanotte. I rate him as a shout. 5 attacking returns from 5 starts. I think over the last 3 games, he's proved himself to be like a solid starter for them. So he looks pretty good. True about Emi Martinez, mate. True. And then Bournemouth and Arsenal. Semenyo, unlucky probably not to get amongst the returns. Interestingly, Kluivert took the penalty for Bournemouth, so maybe one thing to bear in mind. But I think, let's just have a look at the fixtures they've got. Yeah, once they get 9 and 10 out of the way, that's a semi-decent run for Bournemouth there, isn't it? And they could become on the menu for that run up until the new year. So yeah, I'll certainly be eyeing up Semenyo. It was Arsenal, right? I wouldn't let that fixture put me off. And he still put up 0.62 expected goal involvements. So yeah, those are probably the players I would be looking to buy based on yesterday. Oh yeah, if you're new around here, be sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe if you haven't already. I think I would hold Semenyo, he had a big chance, obviously, against 10 men Arsenal. I think I would probably keep hold of Semenyo. I think I probably would. I've done a quiz. Does anyone fancy doing a quiz based on a little bit of a Premier League quiz and based on yesterday's action? Let me know in the chat if you fancy doing a quiz right now. I've got 5 quiz questions for you. If anyone's new around here, most of the streams that I do a quiz for. And I'll probably go live tonight as well after I've made my video with a bit of a reaction stream. Sorry, I was a little bit lacking at reading the chat then while I was going through the fixtures because I was looking at my screen. But yeah, feel free to keep asking questions. We'll do a quiz. Right. Question number 1 then. Oh, that says Game Week 7. Hang on. I haven't done I haven't put the quiz questions across yet. How do I do this? Give me, I'm going to go off stream for 2 minutes. I'll update the quiz questions and then I'll be back. It should take me 30 seconds. But it was Antonio. These are the questions that I had on yesterday's quiz. I forgot to copy them across. I'm just going to hit stop stream on OBS and I'll be back in 30 seconds once I've put all the pictures in with the quiz questions because this is all based on Game Week 7. You can see Antonio there. So just bear with. I'll be back in and then I'll go ahead with the quiz. Thank you for everyone that stuck around. We lost like 30 or so people then. Apologies. It was my fault for not being prepared for the quiz then. I've had my breakfast, Greg. I had a bacon and cream cheese bagel, which I have every morning. Probably not the healthiest of breakfast, but I enjoy my bacon and cream cheese bagel and some granola and yogurt. And then I went to the gym very quickly and did some shoulder rehab. So that's been my morning. And then I came here to join you guys for a cheeky little FPL live stream. So yeah, huge, absolutely huge. And I'm drinking coffee from my Homer Simpson mug. I've had this mug, by the way, in my life for like 25 years. Been with me ever since I was very young. So it's a special mug for me. God, the viewing numbers have died since I did my little quiz update. Notion Vids, good to see you, my friend. I'm doing very well. Thank you for joining. We're just, I'll just let a few more people join again before we do the quiz. I'll just share my screen again. Let's give it another couple minutes. I had to knock off the stream to update my quiz questions, but we're back. We're back and ready to do the quiz. We're ready to go. Everyone loves the mug. Thank you very much. It's Homer Simpson telling you how to eat a donut. Lift, open, eat. Very simple instructions for how to eat a donut. Unlucky Greg, mate. Saka not playing. Is what it is. I keep hold of him now. Right. Everyone locked in for the quiz. Should we go? A few people have joined back now, so I just wanted to make sure everyone gets the benefit of the quiz. Right. So these are all questions, either Premier League questions or based on last week, or this game week 8, sorry. So, first question. Who is the top point scorer so far in game week 8 with 13 points in total? Who is the top scoring player so far in game week 8? Does anyone know? We've got some very good quiz answerers. Answerers, is that the correct word? In the chat, I know every week people get answers that I don't expect them to. So, yeah, who's the top point scorer this game week so far? The quiz is here, John. The quiz is here. Sorry, I had to nip off stream to update the slides, so I had the quiz questions. I'll let a few more answers roll in. Jelly Belly UK. What a name. Morning, Cortex, mate. I've had to do a little bit of modding myself this morning. A couple people have been put in sin bin or banned from the chat entirely. Cortex has been in the gym. We love to see that, man. I'm glad you're feeling better. Good to see you in the chat as well, Paul. Sorry, I've probably forgot to acknowledge you earlier. All right, there's enough answers coming in. The answer is Michael Keane with 13 points. Scored an absolute beauty of a finish. I thought it would... I didn't watch the game. I think it was a 3 p.m. kickoff, wasn't it? I didn't watch the game, but I saw the highlights, and I thought his finish would be like a header from a set piece, but it wasn't. It was an absolute rocket bashed at the near post. It was a great finish. So yeah, Michael Keane. Question number 2. Who is that, ladies and gentlemen? Who is that? Let's see how good you guys are. This is a slightly, I would say, slightly more rogue player than most. Who is that? Good morning, Anthony Gordon in the chat. Oh, loads of answers coming in. Loads of answers coming in for this one. Yes, Kafdan, you got a Bruno return. Congratulations. Nice one, Cortex. I reckon your body needed the rest. And today was the day that it could come back. I had a really good gym session yesterday where I just did 60 to about 70% of my normal weight because I'm in a taper now for a competition next weekend. But I absolutely exploded them up, and it was a good feeling to really chuck some weights around that were lighter than I usually lift. It was a good feeling. Right, people have chucked loads of answers in here. The answer is, of course, it's Dwight McNeil. Well done, everyone that got Dwight McNeil. Many congratulations. The next question then, based on Dwight McNeil, how many assists does he have so far this season? How many assists is Dwight McNeil on this season? I'm not going to do multiple choice. You got to guess it. How many assists has he got? I know, Looney Tune. It's so impressive. You can't really cheat on those either. It's impossible to cheat on those. But yeah, I'm very impressed. Liam Healy up the City, mate. That was a good result yesterday, wasn't it? Very happy. I think those players had a unique motivation yesterday, didn't they? And yeah, I'm really glad they got the win. Hopefully we get to see Liam Manning back soon. Because yeah, that was pretty tragic what happened to him and his family. No, I think that was pretty much the most tragic thing that can happen to you as a human being, I think, losing a child. So yeah, up the City indeed. All right, loads of numbers have come in there. The answer is 3. 3 assists so far for Dwight McNeil this season. Let me know in the chat what you're on out of 3 so far. 3 questions. Anyone on 3 out of 3? Haven't really got a time point to it, Cortex. The maximum I can go is probably another hour. But honestly, I want to go outside for a walk at some point, but it's still raining outside right now. So I'll stick around until it stops raining and then I'll go out and get some fresh air. I think that's my plan. Seen 1 3 out of 3 so far. Trust Simeone. Yeah, no dramas, Cortex. You do your thing, man. I'll still be here. Huge Villa win, indeed. Oh, you went up. Huge, mate. I hope you had a good time. I can imagine it was pretty hardcore. Well done for the journey. I'm glad they got the win to make it worthwhile as well. I didn't watch the UFC, mate. There's so much sport that was happening yesterday that I just couldn't keep track of it all, to be completely honest with you. Have to tell me what happened, Dara. Put it in the chat. Right, question number 4 then. If anyone gets this, right, this is, I would say, 9 out of 10 difficulty. If anyone gets this, I will be blown away. Who is that? You guess McNeil, fair enough. But this one, if you guess this, I'll be blown away. I'll be blown away if anyone gets this right. It is deliberately hard. It is, by the way, just for reference, it is an active Premier League player that people will have in FPL. So it's not like a really stupidly rogue player that no one's heard of. It's an active Premier League player that people in this chat will actually have in their team. I'll let the answers roll in for a little bit longer. Right, I'm going to reveal it in a second. A couple people have actually got this right, and I have absolutely no idea how you can guess this. But this silhouette is Liam Delap, and 3 people have got it. And how do you know who this is? I wouldn't even be able to tell you what Liam Delap looked like, to be honest. So yeah, it's Liam Delap. There were 3 people that got that right, and I am blown away that they managed to get that right. It's quite, people do have him right. He's a known fantasy Premier League asset, right? Very impressive that people knew who that was. It's a good haircut, isn't it? Tidy haircut. Well done, those people that got that right. I quite like those questions because there isn't really a way to cheat. Ex-City player, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Right, one more question then. One more question. In total, yesterday, in the game, you can cheat if you want to. It's not that hard to cheat, but please don't. How many goals were scored in total yesterday? I'm not going to do a multiple choice. You've just got to say it. How many goals were scored yesterday? Yeah, made the last 2 questions quite hard. Lots of numbers rolling in. Hopefully my maths is correct. We'll count them up together. I've put an answer, but we can count them up together. I've seen some correct ones in the chat so far. So quite a few people got it correct, actually. Brilliant. Trust, you cheated. Well, we'll have to give it away now because you cheated. The correct answer is 22. The correct answer is 22. So 5 goals in the first game. That's 5 in total. 4 is 9, 11, 14, 15, 22. 22 goals were scored yesterday. I'll go on this screen. Let me know in the chat what you got in the quiz. Anyone that actually got 5 out of 5 there, it's incredible, quite honestly. You guessed who Liam Delap is and you know how many goals were scored yesterday. So if you got 5 out of 5, there's no prize other than me saying well done. I would say 3 is a very good score based on this week. Strand Larsen's not bad. Not bad. I just wouldn't get too excited about him. Yeah, he should get a bonus point for guessing Liam Delap, to be honest. Should get a bonus point for that. Very impressive. I would probably sell Welbeck, Kaftan. I'd probably sell him. Purely because we had a look at him before. We'll get back to serious business. Indeed. Let's get back to serious business. So he played, didn't he? So I'll be able to get to his profile from here. So he got stretchered off, right? So I don't think he's going to play against Wolves. If you get stretchered off, you're probably not going to play next week, right? I'm going to make that guess. Then after that, it's Liverpool and Man City consecutively. Pretty poor. I would probably sell Welbeck. I'd wait until the deadline. I don't think you need to rush him out. And the player I would look to buy, with the fixtures he's got coming up, Everton, Brentford, Palace, Wolves. Really good underlying numbers put up in his last 3 games. 4 games, actually. Is Raul Jimenez. If I could, I would do Welbeck to Jimenez. I think it makes sense. Or Welbeck to Wood. Those 2, I think, are the guys to go for. And I think with Andreas Pereira missing his penalty yesterday, yeah, I think Jimenez could well be a penalty taker now. Cunha's good as well. Yeah, I like Cunha. I wouldn't make a judgment on Cunha until he plays today, just because he could get injured. But yeah, Cunha's a good option too. I think he's a little bit more expensive though, isn't he? So you can't directly replace Welbeck with Cunha. But yeah, Cunha's going to be good, and the fixtures obviously are good for Wolves. So yeah, decent. Go back to my live rank. 150 people watching. Thank you everyone for watching the stream. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I think you need to subscribe to take part in the chat. I think that's a fair deal, by the way. Just got to click a button and then you can chat. And please leave a like on the stream. That really helped me, and I really appreciate it. I have a bit of a goal. I'd love to reach 10,000 subs by the end of the year. So if you can help me towards that, I'd be forever grateful. And in return, I will do my best and work my hardest to give you good, helpful FPL content. Yeah, that's all I can say. If you can afford him, Lalix, I'd say 8 Nori. Other than that, mate, the 4 million defenders, there's just nothing, is there? There's no real standouts. I probably would say Michael Keane, but you can't guarantee he's going to play. It's just dead, isn't it? It's just a dead selection, really. Yeah, Ockley's playing every game for Leicester, but they're definitely not the best defence. Yeah, you probably got to say Vandenberg, haven't you? But he got subbed off before 90 last week, I guess because they were chasing the game, and Brentford haven't kept a clean sheet yet at all this season. So I just, it's much of a muchness between these 4 million defenders, to be honest. I personally can't pick out a highlight. I'm sorry that that's a really dodgy, crap answer, but there really isn't a highlight. If you just pick one that plays every game, that's probably the best way to go. And if there was anything to go by, I would probably avoid any of the Southampton players, because I think Southampton are the worst team in the league. I would say they're the whipping boys this season. So That's the bit of advice I'd give. Pick any of them, but probably not the Southampton ones. That would be my line on 4 million defenders, I would say. Probably a bit of both, Rat Dog, to be honest. Probably a bit of both. Yeah, DCL. God. Just know with DCL, as soon as people sell him, he'll score. $1.32 expected goal involvement yesterday. Fixtures coming up. Oh, God. Fulham, Southampton. It's a hard case to sell him looking at that, isn't it? I would definitely say Chris Wood and Jimenez are the two best replacements, for sure. I just don't like luxury transfers. I keep saying this on my videos, and it might sound really boring, and sorry, but taking out a decent player who's starting every game for another one who's starting every game, it's just that you think they're going to score more points. That, I would say, more than half of the time backfires on me. I know it might sound absolutely mental, but those kind of luxury moves for one decent player to another just backfires. And I guess, in your opinion, you might disagree with me saying DCL is a decent option. But on paper, he is. He's putting up good underlying numbers. He's obviously not putting the ball in the back of the net, which is the important thing. But he's on penalties. He's playing 90 minutes every game. You know, he's fit. He doesn't seem to be injury prone, or, you know, he was getting injured pretty much every time he played previously, and now he's not. And coming up next, he's got Fulham, Southampton, West Ham, Brentford, Man United, Wolves. So up until the beginning of December, he could conceivably score in all of those games, in my opinion. And then you'd probably sell him after that point, because those 4 fixtures are shocking. Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City. And to be fair, the run from then is shocking for Everton. So, yeah. I just keep the faith. I know it's really hard to be patient sometimes with players, but I think I would just keep the faith. I really would. I've got a bit of a benching headache next week, you know. I think I should start Aina for one of these two. But I don't know. I probably should play Trent or Gabriel. That's the question. To be fair, Trust, I think the Eze decision has already been justified that I didn't swap him, because I had 2 decisions to make. One would be a 3 transfer move where I was going to bring in Palmer, Saka and Ait-Nouri. Obviously, Saka didn't play. And then the other option would have been to bring in Brennan Johnson, who blanked. So I think unless Eze gets sent off and scores an own goal, I think my decision to just sit on my hands has already been justified, because I haven't lost any points as a result of not making the transfer, if that makes sense. So I think the decision to sit on my hands, regardless of what happens on Monday, I think has kind of been justified. I don't think I'm being like, what word am I looking for? I don't know. I don't think I'm being stupid saying that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Eze can keep losing. I just don't care about team value, to be honest, mate. I just don't care. And I look at the sub 7 million midfielders, right? And honestly, I don't see an option that's better than Eze. And that, again, might sound completely mental. But I'm looking at the sub 7 million midfielders in the game. Let's just filter. And yeah, McNeil, right? But I just don't see a better option. Yeah, Garnacho's decent, but again, is he better than Eze? You know, I just don't know. I just don't know. That is a good stat, Antonio. 9 million points lost from William Saliba this week. I'll go back to live FPL and read the chat. No, I wouldn't do that, Andy. I would do Welbeck to someone like Chris Wood or Jimenez, personally. I've made early transfers this season. One of them paid off, one of them didn't. And the reason I made early transfers is a player I wanted, I'm going to have to tell a bit of a story to justify it, but a player that I wanted in my team long term, was about to go up in price to the point where I wouldn't be able to bring him in anymore. And that player did not have a game midweek. I'm a little bit, I don't know, I probably should know more than I actually do, but I don't know. Do Premier League teams have midweek games this week? I think they do. They play in the Cup, don't they? I think Man City have got a Cup game midweek. So early transfers for me work if a player has completed their game for the game week, have gotten through it fully fit and unscathed. They're going to go up in price to a point that you can't afford them, and they don't have a game midweek. So you have, as minimal risk as possible as them getting injured, and they've already played this week. So that's the only, of course, Champions League this week. Man City have got Sparta Prague, not the Cup game. So that would be the circumstances where I would make an early transfer, if that makes sense. Sorry for my lack of knowledge about midweek games. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. Thank you very much, Andy. Yeah, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. It's great to have you here this morning if you're watching live. Nah, just keep Nicholas Jackson, mate. Just keep Nicholas Jackson. People laughing at me about Eze. I'm sticking to my guns, man. My plan is to go from Watkins and Konsa to Aït-Nouri and Cunha. What are Villa's fixtures like from Game Week 10? Do they get tough? I don't have a Villa player to check. Oh, they do, don't they? I'm not sure I like that move. I think I prefer Watkins to Cunha, even if Cunha's got easier fixtures. I just think Watkins is a tried and trusted Premier League goal scorer over multiple seasons, and he's better than Cunha. That's just my opinion. Best Saliba replacement. Yeah, I tell you what, looking at defenders for the next few game weeks is rough going. I don't know. Let's have a look at some expected points data. Bear with. Oh, thank you so much, Glenn. Thank you, mate. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that. That's very generous, my friend. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure streaming and keeping you company, my friend. I'm just loading up Fantasy Football Hub to see. I know some people, I get it in the comments, they don't like looking at the expected points data, but I'm going to use it to inspire me to tell you a defender to pick. But I think it's slim pickings for defenders. And if you watch my buy and avoid video, I looked at the projected clean sheets for the coming game weeks. And other than a couple of occasions where Arsenal and Man City have got good fixtures, I don't think there's a whole lot of clean sheets that are going to go around. Just my thoughts though. But I don't think there's a whole lot of clean sheets that are going to go around. So here are your top defenders. It's all the obvious ones, really, isn't it? Man City are heavily, like Guardiola is heavily backed. He's probably the best replacement, to be fair. But then, could you back Guardiola to play every game? I'm not sure you could. He's good in the expected points because the algorithm projects him to start all the rest of the games. But do you believe he will? I don't know. Man City have got 2 games a week for the next couple of weeks. Is he going to do that? Is Wissa back? Did he play? Did he get minutes? If Wissa got minutes, then he is definitely on the menu. I should have mentioned him in my buy and avoid video, really. Oh, he did. He got 24 minutes. Oh, he's back on the menu then, isn't he? Back on the menu big time. Yeah, I like Wissa. Should have mentioned him. I didn't realise he was back either. That caught me out. Dallow's up there as well. I mean, who would you guys replace Saliba with? What's your opinion? I just think the defenders, looking at this, it's slim pickings. Well, I would go as far to say just keep Saliba on your bench and play your bench defenders because, I mean, yeah, I just don't see any that are absolutely outstanding. It's probably Guardiola, but with the amount of fixtures that Man City have coming up, I don't think you can back him to start every Premier League game. It's probably Rico Lewis, isn't it? But I would hedge a bet that people might have him already. Yeah, that's the kind of point that I made on my buy and avoid video as well. Looking at the lack of clean sheets that are going to come up, in my opinion, it's probably worth going for cheap defenders. Because yeah, for me, it is slim pickings. Thoughts on these transfers? Saka, Colwill, Semenyo to Foden, Aït-Nouri. Nah, not for me, mate. I'd probably get rid of Colwill, but Saka and Semenyo I think are fine. I think Saka, I mean, surely Saka's going to be back next week. Do people think Saka will be back next week? I thought he was going to play this week, to be completely honest with you. I guess we just got to wait for news, right? But I wouldn't be rushing Saka out, personally. I think he'll be back next week. I think you've taken the pain of him not playing already. And you may as well keep him to have him next week. And then you'll probably get an edge over the people that have rushed him out. And Alex, I think Raya is a keeper that you pick and stick with. Sell Trent, Saka, Diaz, DCL to Aït-Nouri, Son, Palmer, Raul Jimenez on 4 free transfers. Yeah. I don't mind that. You are making a few luxury moves there. I would definitely say Luis Diaz is a sell. Just because, well, he hasn't played yet, has he? But just because I just don't know if he's going to start, and I want players in my team that are going to play. But there are a few, I always say this, Crowner, and people are going to get bored because I mentioned it in the stream already. I just have a bit of a reluctance around luxury transfers. And what I mean by a luxury transfer is taking out one good playing player who maybe hasn't been performing very well for 2 or 3 game weeks for another one that you think is going to score more points. Because you picked that original player for a reason, because they're a decent FPL asset. And if they're still in the team and still playing, it's just a matter of just a few games off, if that makes sense. So just those luxury transfers, I know it's really boring. But I just have a reluctancy to do that kind of thing. But here I am with Eze in my team, right? So who am I to talk? But yeah, I mean, you're on this stream for a bit of advice, and that would be my advice to you. Looney Tune, Eze. It's got to be Eze. Yeah, and I'd say that's, people that kept Saka should be okay, because most people have someone on their bench, right? Unless you've got Dibbling like I did. But, I mean, because he didn't feature at all, you just get your sub come in, which is, I think, you can take that one on the chin. I've never, honestly, Rat Dog, I've never really rated Havertz as an FPL option at all. Just because I think, I'm not denying he's a good player and he's going to score goals. But I just think with the Odegaard injury, there's always a risk that he plays deeper in midfield. He's not the best finisher. And I just think you can do better for around the same money as a striker. Like, I think, a penalty-taking striker like Chris Wood. Solanke, it's hard to argue, I guess. But in my opinion, Solanke is a better option than Havertz. And I also think Watkins is too. Yeah, risky pearl. Son for Saka, unless you're desperate for the funds, I think is a luxury move. Nah, Fundles. I wouldn't get rid of him. Unless he's injured for next week, then that makes sense. But I wouldn't get rid of Saka. It sounds boring. I know it sounds boring, but I wouldn't get rid of him. I completely agree with you, Looney Tune. When Odegaard is back, that means Havertz is going to play at the 9. Ooh, I would say Aït-Nouri over Mykolenko, I think. Mikalenko doesn't have the best injury record, which would put me off going for him, to be honest. Yeah, Andy, I like the thought of going for cheap defenders coming up. I do think they're sparse. The clean sheets are going to be sparse, few and far between coming up. If I sell Saka, would you rather sell Diaz for Palmer or Son? I think you got to say Cole Palmer. Over the last 2 years in the Premier League, last 2 seasons, season that he joined Chelsea and now, he's the top player in the league across anyone for goal involvements. Goals and assists combined, right? So I think you have to say Palmer is better than Son. If you can afford both, I'd go Palmer. I think Palmer's better than Son. I think Son is fantastic, but I think Palmer's better. Well done, Alexandru. Good. Well done on your Verbruggen pick. 211 people in the stream, by the way. Thank you so much, everyone that's joining. Hope you're enjoying my Sunday morning chit chat. It's great to have you all here. If you're not already, please subscribe and you can take part in the chat or just leave a like rating if you're enjoying watching me. I think it's one game where Solanke didn't look threatening, personally. I think it's one game. I think it's one game where he didn't look threatening. I think he looked quite threatening against Brighton, I've got to say. I think he looked great against United. He looked great against Brentford. And then coming up, he's got Palace, Villa and Ipswich. Like, I would struggle. I'd struggle to sell Solanke. Let's go back to live FPL. Yeah, it depends, to be completely honest, about Saliba. If your bench is decent, you could probably hold on to him. But if your bench is a little weak and you don't feel comfortable starting, then you can probably sell him. And in my opinion, I would not sell him for a like-for-like player of the same price. I'd downgrade him to a cheap defender because I just think clean sheets coming up are few and far between. In fact, I'll look at a projection. Don't know what I just searched then. I misspelt Draft Hound. Yeah, 3-game ban for a straight red. So here are the clean sheet odds coming up. And I don't know about you, but I'm not seeing a lot of excitement there in terms of clean sheet odds. Actually, we'll go on 11-5. 11-5. A 1-game ban, is it? Or contentious? I actually don't know the answer to that question. So I'd probably, if he only misses 1 game, I'd be keeping him. So yeah, here's your clean sheet odds coming up. I just, I don't know, I'm not filled with excitement about clean sheets coming. Did you end up getting revenge on that dog? No. I haven't seen the dog again yet. My skin has not been great. I genuinely, right, I try really hard to like keep my face up together, but for some reason I've just been unlucky with my skin recently, so apologies if you guys had to see that on stream. Yeah. I try and do a good skincare routine twice a day, but it doesn't seem to have paid off so far, unfortunately. I suspect it's because I've been so busy with my life recently that I probably haven't been relaxing enough, to be completely honest. Anyway, we'll stop talking about that. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate that. Yeah, don't worry. I'm not self-conscious. I put my face on camera every day, go on YouTube. So yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, Eze's dropped again in price. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He dropped before he even played. So he dropped last night and he didn't even play, which is crazy. Right, we're going to settle this once and for all. We're going to settle this once and for all. I'm just going to Google how long is Saliba banned for. So here we go. Here is absolute clarity on the Saliba situation. So here's a bit of, this is from The Independent, which I actually think is a reputable newspaper. I won't get into that kind of thing on this channel, but I would, I'd say The Independent is a respectable newspaper. So here's the quotes around why it was a red. I'm not going to get into that. I think it was a red. In summary, denial for an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, which is the reason he got sent off, means a one-game suspension in the Premier League, like a second yellow. So he'll be able to play in the Champions League against Shakhtar, but he won't be available for the Liverpool game. So that's the summary of Saliba. Yeah, just stick with him. And like one game, like I would genuinely consider. So my team, I've got Gabriel, Liverpool at home. I would probably start Aina over Gabriel, to be completely honest with you. And I'd probably start Trent. I just think Trent's better than Gabriel, isn't he? Yeah, just the Liverpool game. Just the Liverpool game. Ooh, my internet's a bit slow. That's the thing. I'll bench Gabriel and he'll score a goal. That's why I went for Gabriel over Saliba. His underlying data in terms of goal threat was just miles better than Saliba's. So I think, even when they don't keep a clean sheet, he's got a chance of getting some points, right? Should I sell Saliba? I wouldn't sell Saliba at all. I think that's a rush job. Just keep him. Same with Addison at Fulham. Kudus got 3. Yeah, exactly. Kudus went... I forgot to talk about Kudus. He went mental, didn't he? He went absolutely mental. Same with Addison at Fulham. Kudus got... Yeah, sorry, I just read that. Would you start Semenyo against Villa or Mavadidi against Forest? Ooh. I'd say Semenyo against Villa. I don't know, this might be a controversial opinion, but I'd actually back the Forest defence over the Villa defence right now. That's a pretty rogue opinion, I would say, but yeah. Should I sell Saliba? Oh no, I haven't answered that. Should I sell Saliba for Trent and sell Raya? Nah. Would you go to 8 Nori this week or next from Consa? If you want 8 Nori in your team, just buy him, mate. Consa to Aina, yeah. I would actually say if you want a Nottingham Forest defender, I would go for Milenkovic. He offers even more goal threat than Aina does. So yeah, I would go for Milenkovic if I had the pick of Forest defenders. I've got Aina in my team, I know, because I bought him for 4.4 million and I couldn't afford anyone else. But if I could get one, I would get I'd get Milenkovic. Is Milenkovic nailed? Yeah, mate, definitely. Sorry, I was scratching my nose then. Milenkovic. So yeah, I mean, he missed the first game. I think that was just because he was just signed. He played all the others for 90 minutes. And in terms of expected goal involvement, Aina has put up 0.7 and Milenkovic has put up 1.2. But yeah, someone made a fair assessment about bonus points. So Milenkovic hasn't got a single one, 81 BPS. Aina's got 100 BPS and 5 bonus points. So there's not a whole lot in it, I guess. 20 BPS over the course of the season so far is not, not night and day. So I think Milenkovic is my pick of the Forest defenders. Watch him get sent off or something mental now, but that's my logic, and I would pick Milenkovic. Can't deny that Murillo's decent as well. And also, to be fair, I think Alex Moreno probably plays good minutes. He's not been that attacking so far for Forest, but for Villa he was. So I think all 4 of those starting Forest defenders are decent. Honestly, based on current form, I say Jimenez, Kaftan. No, I'd keep Semenyo, Alexandru. Yeah, Wissa could be a really good option. And yeah, Forest play tomorrow, right? So you just don't know what's going to happen in that game. Trent and Diaz to Rico, Lewis and Palmer. Quite like that. You've done the transfer, bro. Yes, early. Oh, he hasn't played yet, man. You ought to be careful with that. I think it's a good transfer, but I wouldn't have locked it in though. Yeah, I think Milenkovic is what, 6'6", something like that. Risky Pearl doesn't care. Fair enough, my friend. I'd stay away from the pet roulette, Glenn. I'd stay away from it. Especially watch him tear his ACL. That's the thing with early transfers, mate. So here are the Man City fixtures and why I would be a little bit concerned about picking a Man City midfielder. So they've just got so many games. So from the 20th of October until 3 weeks, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. So they've obviously got... Sorry, they got more than that. They've got Wolves today. On Wednesday, Prague. I guess they're both at home, so they don't have to travel. Saturday, they got Southampton. Then they got Tottenham away, Bournemouth away, Sporting away, Brighton away. And all of that is in the space of, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? That's a lot of games. And I don't, I couldn't, other than maybe Haaland, I just don't think you can tell me an outfielder for Man City that plays all those games. Even like Rico Lewis, I think it's going to be a minute's risk, but you kind of know what you're getting with him, and you pay for it, right? I got him for 4.6 million, and I'm accepting that he's a minute's risk at that price. But yeah, we went through top defenders. Guardiola is top for expected points, but again, that's assuming he plays all the games. But with those fixtures, think of Foden as well. Can you guarantee me that Foden's going to play? No, you can't, not at all. So yeah, I'd be a little bit worried, to be honest. Other than last season with Foden, and I think that was the one time in recent memory where a Man City midfielder was kind of a lock in most people's teams, I really tried to avoid the Man City mids. I'm just going to go grab a tissue a sec, fellas. Oh, sorry. Garnacho or Kulusevski? That's really hard, actually. What do you guys think? What does the chat think? Garnacho or Kulusevski? Help out my friend Musa. Good job, Risky Pearl. Salah might cook you. No offense, mate, but I hope he does, because he's obviously in my team. Diaz to Palmer, Saka to Van de Ven, or just Diaz to Son? I'd probably do just Diaz to Son, mate. I don't like Van de Ven. Oh, actually, I would buy a Forest defender rather than Van de Ven if it were me. Yeah, I'd buy a Forest defender, I think. Sorry, I was sitting on my face then. Yeah, I'd buy a Forest defender, I think. You're 50-50 at the moment on Kulusevski or Garnacho, I'm afraid, mate. I'm also 50-50 on it. I couldn't tell you my preference. Oh, God. Yeah, I would not do Salah to Palmer for a -4. No way. Absolutely no chance. I don't even think I'd do Salah to Palmer for nothing, for free. Yeah, tell out everyone Kulu because I don't want people to buy him. Very clever. Very clever. I'll stay live for until 1:15, so I'll go for another 10 minutes, and that'll bring me to around an hour and a half on stream. And then I'm going to go for a walk if that's all right. I've not really been outside yet today because it's been raining. I'd quite like to get some fresh air. 0 Spurs and 0 Liverpool assets. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's a good way of putting it, Colm. I like that. That's a good way of putting it. So who are the players that can hurt me then? Threats. So Henderson and Sanchez. Guardiola, Canate, Van Dijk, and Palmer. Those are my threats. And I would say other players around me, I've probably gotten away with it, haven't I, really? I think I've escaped the main threats. It's just Palmer is the one that could really damage me today, I think. And I think the fact I've got Rico Lewis covers off Guardiola, hopefully. Trent to Porro was a really interesting. Saka to Foden was popular. Semenyo to McNeil was popular. Yeah, so all the main threats to my rank, I think. Oh, Nicholas Jackson as well. So these are my main threats then. Palmer, Diaz. If he plays, he could kill me. Guardiola, Canate, Jackson, Henderson, Sanchez, Jota, Virgil. Yeah, I can take that on the chin. It's just Palmer and Diaz that I'm really, really worried about, I guess. But then, they're playing each other, so possibly not too much for a worry. Best 4.5 million, I would say 8 Nori, Aina, or Milenkovic. I would love a Palmer red card, no offence. FPL Punk, good to see you, my friend. If anyone wants to check out a new FPL YouTuber or a different content creator to me, check out FPL Punk. He makes some great content, and I'd fully recommend his channel. Very nice fellow as well, I will say. Very nice guy. I hope you're doing well, FPL Punk. Man United actually got a win. How good's that? Yeah, I think cheaper defenders for the next few game weeks is the way to go. I definitely agree. I don't think the premium defenders are going to offer too much value, especially with Saliba getting sent off with regards to Arsenal. I think that kind of negates their chances of keeping a clean sheet next week. I'll be very surprised if Arsenal keep a clean sheet against Liverpool now. I feel as a Solanke owner, I got unlucky yesterday. Even though he didn't look like he was all that dangerous. I mean, he's the centre forward in a team that scored 4 goals and he didn't get an attack in return. Yeah, Gabriel, you just got to just ride him out, haven't you? He is a season hold, I agree. Oh, my pleasure, FPL Punk. You deserve it, man. Yeah, but is that... He plays too deep, but let's have a look. Let's quash this once and for all, or not, as the case may be. SofaScore has heat maps, doesn't it? We'll check out Solanke's heat maps. God. I've got loads of fixtures chucked at me here, and it's not even what I want to look at. Bear with. There we go. Tottenham. Actually, we probably just want to look at Solanke's profile, don't we? Heat maps. Where's his heat map then? Show me a heat map. Ugh. So here's Solanke's heat map. Oh yeah, he's a bit midfieldy there, isn't he? Hot in the centre circle and sort of 30 yards out. Okay, one game. That's the West Ham game. Just one game. Bear that in mind. We don't care about England. God's sake. Matches. We don't care about the England ones. Brighton. Lineups. Solanke. Oh, very hot in the centre circle again. But to be fair, touches in the opposition box with the play going that way. But yeah, that is quite deep, to be fair. I'm happy to be proved wrong, by the way. I'm just looking... I'm not too interested in Ferenc Vark. Why does it keep doing that? When I'm looking at the matches, it just takes me off the screen. That's really annoying. Man United was To be fair, I'm basing my thoughts because I saw the Man United game. And they went down to 10 men, didn't they? So naturally he's going to be playing a bit further forward, and he was in the Man United game. But they only had 10 men, so it kind of made sense. And then I'm going to get booted off this matches screen again, aren't I? Yeah, booted me off again. Brilliant. And then we'll do the Brentford one as well. See what his heat map looked like in that one. Oh, so a lot of action in the box. That is, you can't deny that's quite a lot of action in the box, isn't it? I say it's a mixture. So I've seen 2 games where he was playing like Kane, and then 2 games where he was in and around the opposition box. So, John, I think you're sort of half right, would be my opinion. Feel free to disagree. I don't get offended if people disagree with me about my football opinions. But I would say Solanke's heat map has been mixed. Some games he's been a little deep. Some games he's been quite far forward. It's basically what I've seen there. But he definitely, I would say, Watkins' heat map would be far forward in every game, to be fair. So, yeah. Yeah, don't do it, Risky Pro. I think that's a luxury transfer, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point, John. I'll concede to you on that one. Oh, I don't claim to be the I don't know what to say. Don't know what the word is. I don't claim to be like a complete expert who gets everything right. I do really like him as a player, though. I think he's a really good striker. Right, 5 more minutes we'll stay on stream because I'm going to go for a walk, if that's all right, before it starts raining in Bristol again. So feel free to shoot some questions my way for the final 5 minutes. Yes, Niels, you're probably right. Although I still feel like we've got a small sample size of Solanke at Spurs so far. Don't forget, last season he scored 19 goals playing for Bournemouth and only 1 penalty. So, yeah, there is that factor as well. I just don't want to get carried away on Solanke being good or bad. I think it's a small sample size, and I'm happy to stick with him in my team. I agree, Rehan. I agree. Yeah, unlucky, Risky Pearl. It's what it is, mate, sometimes. You too, Glenn. I'm sorry to hear that, John. Just from memory, and apologies if I get this incorrect, are you the fellow that went in for a hip replacement a couple of weeks ago? I'm sorry to hear that you're unable to move your legs. Yeah, FPL Punk. How's everything going, my friend? I'm guessing not ideally if you're saying that about legs. Feel free to vent in the chat, mate. Yeah, patience, man. Patience is good. Eze, though, I've been patient with him so far. I'm hoping that pays off. I still think it was a good decision to keep hold of Eze this week because the alternative transfers I could have made have not paid off. I could have bought Saka, which obviously wouldn't have paid off, or I could have bought Brennan Johnson, which wouldn't have paid off. So I'm quite happy. Well, at least you can get about the house, I guess, John. Baby steps, right? Baby steps. You will be fine, mate. Absolutely. No, Ave, that feels very luxury to me. Lalix, I think I probably will watch some of the games, Usually I go down to my dad's house for a roast dinner on a Sunday, which is about a 40-minute drive from where I live. But my car is a bit broken at the moment. I mentioned it yesterday. I think I've got Basically, on on all cars, there's a joint that links the axle to the wheel, and it's called the CV joint, and it's protected by this rubber boot that stops debris, and it's full of grease as well, and it keeps the grease in and lubricating the joint, etc. And I think mine is currently broken, and it's making, every time the wheel turns at slow speeds, it's making like a clicking, clacking noise. And it's fine to like drive around town, and I'm getting it seen to this week, but I don't want to do a long journey. So I'm going to stay at home this afternoon, and I will probably watch the games, to be honest. I think Wolves, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea will be good games to watch. And I'll do a live stream once the action today finishes as well. So I'll do another reaction stream at about 6:30. And then I'll make a video after that as well to go out tonight. So I'll keep busy with my YouTube. FPL frazzled. I agree with your logic, mate. I've got a Toyota GT86 reviewer. So hopefully it's not an expensive part to replace. When that breaks on your car, most of the time, if it's a front wheel drive car, you notice it when you steer. But because mine's rear wheel drive, you don't, because the rear wheels don't steer. So you only hear it when you drive along. So it's probably worse than it actually sounds as well. So I want to get it looked at. Tramadol and TV. Huge, mate. I'm glad you can laugh about it, mate. Yeah, I don't, Sky can get expensive, man. You can really rack up your Sky bill. I'm very fortunate where I have Sky Go on this laptop that's been kindly, password of my dad's Sky has been kindly given to me, so I can watch his Sky Go on my laptop. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that. Ooh. Dallo or 8 Nori is really close. What does the chat think? That'll be the final question for the chat. Dallo or 8 Nori? I don't know, Looney Tune. I'm very fortunate in that I don't pay the bill. Huge from tractor damage. That's the way it goes, isn't it? Right, there's your answer. You got some answers there. I think I'm going to leave it there if that's all right, guys. I'm just going to check outside. It looks like it's not raining. Just check the forecast. Oh. The forecast is pretty bleak there. I don't know if anyone can see that. That's the weather forecast around me. So I've got a hoodie, so I'm going to put my hood up. But yeah, I'm just going to go for a little walk, I think. Get some fresh air, even though it's not sunny. Yeah, I think that's everything. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you everyone for joining. We had like 200 people in here at one point. Still got 178 watching. That's pretty incredible, to be honest. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, please leave a like if you enjoyed it. I assume if 200 people are still here, they've at least enjoyed my company enough to stay. So please leave a like if you have. Subscribe to the Golden Goal channel if you haven't already. I'll do another reaction stream after the action today. I'll sort all the scheduling of the stream out and stuff when I get back from my walk and have had some lunch. Yeah, hopefully today goes a little bit better than yesterday for most people. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Thank you everyone for joining, and I'll see you later on.